It's time to unpack why most sales leaders fail within their first 12 months on the job. Let's go. This video, we're going to walk through why most sales leaders fail. Having been a sales leader for quite an extended period of time now and going from first line sales management into second line sales management, where I'm actually managing managers, it's a very different ballgame. And I've been fortunate enough to observe a lot of the key reasons why I see most sales leaders fail, certainly within their first year, but relatively early in their career. There was a study done recently that actually 60% of sales managers end up failing within their first 24 months in role. And we certainly want to mitigate that being the case. Now, most of the reasons why I see this come down to is due to poor time management and ineffective prioritization. So when we think about it, all sales managers have many different daily conflicting priorities. So you're going to have everything from team requests to customer issues, Slack messages, emails coming in from every different directions, cross-departmental meetings, unexpected team issues and unexpected things happening within your company, within your business. Then you've also got to combine that with the need to coach your team, drive an accurate forecast, do your team one-to-ones, run them through enablement. And this is just a short list. There's many more things that go into a typical day or a typical week in the life of a sales leader. So when you've got all of these conflicting priorities, it comes down to the question of how are you currently prioritizing your time? And this is a question that I barely see any sales leaders taking a moment to stop, collect themselves and actually ask, how am I prioritizing when I've got all of these things going on? And then we also ask ourselves this question, why do we have so much burnout within the sales ecosystem? And a lot of it comes down to this. It's not having taken that moment to ask yourself, how am I currently prioritizing my time? And what I've then observed is that most sales leaders have a recency bias with how they end up dealing with their calendar and how they end up dealing with the various different priorities that they have. So it's this saying here, right? This Slack message has just come in, so let me deal with it right now. Now, think about you yourself when an email comes in or where you get asked a question from someone in a different department. In many cases, you're just going to drop what you're doing and you're going to tackle that thing because it's the thing that's just happened. It's the thing that's just come into your inbox. And so you feel like you've got to deal with it now. This is the premise of recency bias. So how do we actually deal with this and tackle this? It actually starts with really simply having very, very clear prioritization, a very clear order of prioritization to make sure that you can mitigate any friction with your ability to make quick and effective decisions. And your ability to make speedy, timely, and effective decisions as a sales leader is one of the most critical skill sets that you need to be able to develop over time. So the way that I've always thought about it, and it served me incredibly well throughout my career, is that customers and team always comes first, and then everything else follows. So if you think about that previous list that we just covered, or you think about your day-to-day right now, or if you're a sales rep that wants to move into sales management, this is something that you've got to keep top of mind. This 1 and 2 are, by the way, on the same level. But what I'm in essence saying is that if there's anything that's based around your team or anything that's based around customers, that's always got to come first. And so if you write out, first of all, a list of all of the activities that you've got to do day to day, right? I'm going to actually put this up here. Write out a list of all of your priorities and daily activities, right? My spelling's all over the place, isn't it? So write out a list of all of those priorities and daily activities, right? Once you've written that out, put team first and customers first, and then write out everything else that you've got to contend with. You've then got to get comfortable with the premise of saying no to things, because what you're going to start to find is messages are still coming in, emails are still coming in, other departments are going to be asking you things off the whim. You've got to be able to say no or you've got to be able to let that thing sit and come to it another time. And this is where it becomes so important to time block out your week and have a structure to it. And I'll make sure I cover this in a bit more detail in another video, but you've got to have set time in your day to deal with other things that are non-related to team and customers. So maybe every day between 4 and 5 o'clock, you're going to deal with things that are related to other cross-departmental meetings, or between a Tuesday and a Thursday, those are the days within your week that you deal with things to do with other departments. Maybe it's between that 4 and 5 o'clock that you deal with emails and Slack messages that come from other sources that are non-team and customer related. And what that does is it gives everyone around you comfort and clarity with when you're going to be accessible, when they can expect you to get back to them. And so they have that clarity, you have that clarity of thought, and you're also able to make quick, accurate, and effective decisions, because you know if something comes in and it's not based around team and it's not based around customers, you're not going to get around to that to your set time block. And this isn't always easy to do at first, because inherently as humans and as people want to please others, right? You want to do the things that feel good and are helpful in principle to other people. But when you try and be everything to everyone at any given time, you end up being nothing to anybody, because it's a one-way ticket to burnout if you're trying to be everything to everyone. And it also means that you're going to potentially underserve your team and underserve your customers, because you're consistently trying to be an octopus, right? Stretch your arms out in every different direction. And it means that you have no true focus and no true specialism in best serving your team, best serving your customers. And when you're best serving your team and customers, what you'll find is everything else starts to work, right? You're going to drive revenue more effectively. You're going to have happier customers. You're going to have better team morale. And when you have those things in place, you're going to have a team that's more fulfilled and driving all of the outcomes that are critical for you to drive as a sales leader. I hope this video has been helpful in some way. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. Check out the description section of this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.